Hey. Welcome back, everybody, to Bad Film Good, the podcast where we look at poorly rated movies and we ask the question, is this bad film good? My name is Declan.
And I'm Maiden.
Came creeping out of the shadows there. And today we're looking at The Spy Next Door, which is not at all along the lines of you creeping out of the shadows to introduce yourself.
I've got a beer in my hand. Boy, Stella. Hey!
Yeah, I'm the Spy Next Door.
Jimmy, come here. Give me another pie, Stella, for the podcast.
Yeah, this is Aiden's friend joining us today, also called Aiden. He's very different, but we get along.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Mostly.
You shut your fucking mouth.
Well, other Aiden, you may not be familiar with how the podcast goes, but you need to tell me something unique that has been Shrekking this week. You've got to keep. You committed to this now. You have to do this
for the whole thing.
Rest of the episode.
Well, what's Shrekking this week is I thought we'd have a bit of a change from our whole Scott Tobias debacle. So
it's good to pop back every now and then, just check up on how it's going. Yeah.
So I thought we'd look at, this is from The Gamer, and it's the top 10 best Shrek video games ranked.
Top 10? How many are there?
Well, that's the thing. This website...
Is it like bootleg shit?
Yeah, this website... Sorry, The Gamer, if you ever listen to this, but this website is janky as shit. First of all. So it's like top 10 best Shrek video games. The first one is number 19.
Oh, that's that kind of like quick journalism, like just throw it together. You've got to get like 50 articles out within a space of time, and they're like, I don't know, 10, top 10, put a 19 in there, doesn't matter.
Yeah, some of them are
nobody's
just
going to read it, we just need the clicks.
Yeah, literally, some of them are just like the title of the game and that's it. Some of them are just adverts for something else.
Nice.
But some of these games, I think, like, if we ever start playing games instead of doing films, we should do some of these, because they are hilarious. The first one, number 19, is Shrek Swamp Kart Speedway.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
I'll take some screenshots of some of the photos, because they are amazing. This is like some, like, N64 fucking Shrek pixel art. It looks terrible, but amazing at the same time.
Oh, that sounds so great.
Then you've got Shrek Fairy Tale Freakdown, and again it's
Freakdown.
Yeah, it's like Shrek squeezing the head of a knight or something, and he's smiling.
That sounds demented as hell.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then you got, like, you know, the standard, you know, Shrek 1, Shrek 2, Shrek 3. Oh, yeah. But some of like, Shrek's carnival craze goes to a carnival.
That's so weird.
This one's might be my favourite. It's Shrek 2, Beg for Mercy.
Oh my god, what is happening in that game?
Yes! Beg for mercy!
Mercy. There's so many questions I have. Yes. Oh my god, like who is it talking to? Is it just the audience? Who is making us beg for mercy? Like who in the Shrek lore is telling us, from Shrek 2 is telling us to beg for mercy?
Oh my god. Do you want to know about the game? There's a little bit about it. Puss in Boots is actually the main character of this side-scroller game. It was released in 2004 and became much lesser known than the other Shrek games, despite being better than some of the others. This game is pretty simple. You jump around, climb, fight enemies, and collect coins while taking on the role of various Shrek characters.
Beg for mercy, though.
I know. They're like...
And then you slaughter your enemies after a torture minigame.
There's other notable mentions. This is good. It's Shrek Forever after the game, but the picture, like, it's it's Shrek, Puss in Boots, and Fiona, but they're all, like, weirdly fat. Like, Puss in Boots is fucking massive. I'll put the post up on Instagram. And then the last the last good one is Shrek Super Slam. And it's like fucking... It's fucking... Oh, what's that game? Jesus Christ. Bloody Smash.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like Smash Bros. But Shrek. That's amazing.
It's so...
I want to see that so bad.
That. Yeah.
Shrek has to have a move where he, like an outhouse comes out of the floor or something, and he goes in and then he kicks the door open and it hits somebody. You know, and it goes, somebody.
One of the playable characters is Scott Tobias.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's just like his special move is like starts typing on a little laptop, like
throwing insults.
Stupid, yeah. But yeah, those are the top Shrek games. Top 10/19 Shrek games.
Oh man, yeah. We've got to get on some of these at some point and check these out.
Yeah,
that is great. Well, Shrekking aside, we're all Shreked out now this week. This week we are going to be looking at another film that kind of featured a lot in my childhood and it's kind of near and dear to my heart. Called, is it The Spy Next Door or just Spy Next Door?
I think it's The Spy Next Door.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just got it down as Spy Next Door, but either way, it's the same thing. But yeah, we found this on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah. It's
a film with Jackie Chan. One of his, because it's from like 2010, right? So it's kind of that era of like action and kind of family film, whatever. So Netflix described it as, while babysitting, an undercover agent is thrust back into the world of top secret adventure when that's how they're not one of his, that's how Netflix did it. This is professional. This is the official description. When one his young charges downloads a classified file. I had to underline that so I'd remember that it wasn't me actually just not writing it in.
That's good. Good work, Netflix.
Good work, Netflix.
That's like alternate Aiden has written that.
Oh yeah, the darker Aiden.
Yeah, one of his sons is bloody
the dark side Aiden.
Get the Stella and fucking download.
Yeah, one is young charges. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But tell us, Aiden, what is this film about? This amazing film with Jackie Chan and a bunch of kids.
Right. So Jackie Chan is banging his neighbor.
We're at a good start.
Oh fuck!
It's actually it's like the bootleg Jackie Chan.
It's not
Jackie Chan.
No, that's his character. They were so lazy. They were like
they just added
Jackie Chan. Jackie Chang. Anyway, Jackie Chan is banging his neighbor whilst her kids resent him for being boring or something like that. Then. But then we
all of these descriptions start with somebody banging someone. Literally every time.
It's good. It's not me. It's the film. It's the film.
It's the film industry, man. I'm telling you.
It's the male gaze.
Sells.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. It's that Chang gaze. The Jackie Chan gaze. Anyway.
But then we find out that Jackie Chan is actually a secret spy who works with Billy Ray Cyrus for some reason.
Oh man, so funny.
He's like, I'm going to retire, and then he tries to convince 3 children to like him, but also he does a little bit of secret agent on the side, even though he's retired, because Billy Ray Cyrus is like, yo, can you help me with this file? And Jackie Chan's like, okay.
That's it. Okay.
And that's the film. Then, what's her face? The neighbor, the woman that he's banging. She's like, my dad's in hospital, so now you got to look after these kids. And Jackie Chan's like, okay, cool. So he looks after them, and they don't get on. But meanwhile, an evil Russian man has invented a magic paint that eats oil, and that's bad. But we'll get to it later, maybe. Anyway, Jackie Chan struggles to look after the kids. One of them has some cocaine and they're all running around and everyone's mean to him. But then eventually Jackie Chan uses his powers. Sorry, that's distracting. I wrote Jackie Chan. Sorry, Jackie
for God's
Chan.
Sake.
Jackie Chan.
It's not a difficult name.
Jackie Chan.
It's like such a simple name to get.
It's gonna change every
Jackie Chan. What are you on?
The Jackie Chan uses spy powers, and then they like him. But then the Russians chase him, and then Jackie Chan is like, "Oh, by the way, children, I'm a spy, but don't tell your mother." Then he beats up some people and a mole, and then he tells the mum that he's a spy. He's like, "Look, I'm a spy." And the mum's like, "Fuck you. Get out of my house. How dare you be a spy? I don't like you now." But then the stupid boy child, he's like, "I'm going to go fully Jackie Schman," and into a standoff. And
there's a lot of different characters named Jackie in this.
Yeah,
there's all of these last names are accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, so then the little boy child's like, I want to be a spy, and then he follows him, but then there's a standoff between the evil people and Jackie Chan, and then Jackie Chan beats up everyone with a bike and a small child. They get followed back to their house.
He beats them with the small child.
He picks them up.
He just picks the kid and just starts beating them with this kid. Am I a secret agent yet?
My head hurts. So they go back to the house and they all fight together as a family to beat some wanted criminals. And then they murder a few people, but it's fine. Then they get married and Child Services takes the kids away because they literally murdered some people and one of the kids took some cocaine. Few facts about...
It'd be a very different film if it ended with child support turning up. Child Services, rather.
You have the classic ending of, we're back together and we're getting married, and then Child Service storming the church, like, "You don't look after these children." It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like, "You didn't look after these children. I'm taking them away." Yeah.
Put the kid down. Says to the kids, he's like, "Get to the chopper." It's all one universe.
Yeah, it's all one universe, baby. Brief facts about the film. Made in 2010, directed by Brian Levant, starring Jackie Schlan, Amber Valentina, Billy Ray Cyrus. Budget of $28 million, and it made $66 million, so not too shabby. 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb, 12% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 27 Metacritics liked the movie. But yeah, so look, I'm Spacky Man, and
It's just gonna get worse.
I've got 28 million. Pitch this film to be.
Right, I've got a good film for you this time. I'll take 28 million for this film here. You see, we got one secret agent man beats up exaggerated Russians and forces an I knew I'd mess that word up. Authoritarian. Feels like I said it wrong. Authoritarian regime on a bunch of kids while the mum's out of town. Basically, that was fucking messed it up, didn't I? That's it. Take it or leave it.
I like to think you're at a pub and there's a drunk guy alone at the bar, and he's like, "Yeah, fucking, me and the wife get into it, and she's got this authoritarian play fucking
like an automated thing where they put the word in.
Yeah.
Like, it forces an authoritarian regime on a bunch of kids while their mum is out of town.
All right, but should we get into it? Should we get into some dumb shit about the film?
Let's talk about the dumb shit. I mean, we start the film with initially I was a bit like, ugh, but it got stuck in my head, and then I just really enjoyed it because it starts with the song. I don't know if it's called Secret Agent Man, but it's the Secret Agent Man song.
Is this the one that Jackie Chan sings?
No, he's not singing it. Is there a version where he sings it or something?
Secret Agent Man, I'm looking it up now.
Yeah. But it's basically playing over clips of Jackie Chan, fighting people and doing lots of parkour cool moves and stuff like that. I don't know whether they were shot specifically for that film or whether they actually took
Yeah, that's what I thought.
From other films?
Yeah. By the way, no.
You're just thinking of something else.
I don't know what I'm thinking about.
I was very confused because I was like, that's definitely not his voice.
But yeah, so I think they're from other films because he looks younger in some of them.
But if that's the case, then all of his films, it's safe to assume that all of Jackie Chan's films are canonically within the same universe.
Yeah,
and it just has different names, different different everything, including all of the like weird ones with like mystical powers and stuff, like the medallion and stuff. Oh god, I love the medallion. That's a great film.
He's like a nanny for these kids, and then he turns into a monkey and fights an evil leopard with a panda and a tiger and Seth Rogen. Like, is Kung Fu Panda a sequel to this? That's what I need to know.
Oh my god, yeah. He marries the woman and then just turns into his character. And then
he's like, I must go, and then he just like transforms into a monkey, like an animated monkey, and then just like runs off.
Yeah, because at the end he's like, "Oh, I have something else I never told you." It's just like, what? And then instead of saying that Bob isn't his actual name, he's just like, I'm actually an animated monkey from the film Kung Fu Panda. What? I've seen that film. That film exists in this universe.
Yeah, I'm in it. That's me. Yeah. It's live action, but I'm animated. I'm animated in real life.
Yeah, he just does a spin and then he's his character and then he runs out.
Yeah, it's like the Superman transition,
Temple Calls.
You know, when he spins around.
Yeah.
But instead of that, it's just him being an animated monkey.
But that's not what happens in this film.
No, sorry, yeah, we're getting distracted.
We're designing the film that we'd like to see, but yeah.
Yeah. The film starts off and it's like we're introduced to the family and it's like a fucking nightmare because it's this woman and she's like, I can't control my kids. They're all terrible. And then we're introduced to them and the boy kid is a fucking psychopath. Like, straight out the gate, he booby traps his sister's hairdryer for like practical joke or stuff, but it's blown up.
Yeah,
like it's all melted. Her face is all black. Like he could have killed her.
He's playing with explosives. Yeah. And she comes in, she's like, "Mom, he blew this up in my face. It's my hairdryer, whatever." She's just under the covers, like,
she's like, "Oh, kids,
stop! I'm trying to sleep.
It's 9 a.m. my skin's melting. The plastic's formed onto my face."
I think he's hidden secondary explosives. He's standing there with the trigger. He's like, "Test me."
She's like, "Give me 5 more minutes."
There's only 4:58 on the timer.
And it's like they're freaking out. All of these kids are freaking out. Like,
you've got a little pig running around.
Well. There's the youngest is looking after a pig. Like, it's just running around causing havoc, and she just giggles to herself in bed. The youngest one's like, "Oh my god, the pig's gotten out. It's fucking shitting on the floor. Probably we don't see it, but it's probably happening." And the mum's just like, "I guess I'll get up." Like,
just another day.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, probably not that far off with kids, but apart from the explosive side of things, you know. But yeah, no, I mean, it is nuts, and it's kind of this whole chaotic thing that you're introduced to, like, oh, these kids are a nightmare, and just getting them ready for school, and then goes out to the, get them in the car, and that's when Jackie Chan kind of shows up. Because he's like clearly her neighbor, but then they're going for a kiss, and you're like, oh, okay, right, so this is like a thing.
Yeah.
But then the kids are like scowling at him, being like, it's gross, and she's like, oh yeah, well we've got an audience, so best not to kiss in front of the kids or whatever. And it kind of establishes this thing of, oh, the kids don't like him.
Yeah.
And my first reaction is like, yeah, it definitely is. But my first reaction is like, why would you not like Jackie Chan?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like the most lovable, smiley. You just look at his smiley face, and you're like, oh, come on. Like, kids would like that face.
Yeah, and
you know,
they're fucking savage as well.
Yeah, because they're just like, he's boring.
Yeah,
he sells
pens or something.
I'm like, what job do you have, kid?
Yes.
Yeah, you get an income and then talk to me.
And you seen his house? It's fucking huge.
Yeah,
like, he's clearly doing well.
He's living in
selling
the suburbs,
these pens. Yeah. but like, because they're fucking savage. Later on, they're all stood outside because their kitten's stuck on the roof, and they're like, "Oh, Rico, come on, jump! It's not that far. We'll catch you." Then, as soon as Jackie Chan, like, he like walks up to them, and he's like, "Hi, kids," and they all just stop saying anything, stare at him, and go inside. They don't give a fuck about the cat anymore. They're like, "Fuck you, Jackie
They're like,
Chan."
Cat's dead, let's go.
Yeah, like, what has he done?
Yeah, exactly.
This sweet old
Bob
man.
In this, Bob something.
Bob Ho,
but,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bob Ho, yeah. And, yes, we're kind of introduced to this dynamic. I mean, you're like, okay, yeah, you know, the father's kind of not around and you know, the kids don't like him and that sort of thing. And they establish him as a boring character, but then we get to see the other side where, true to the name of the film, he goes home and then opens up like a super secret bunch of things with a pen. Or I don't think it's at his home, it's like somewhere else at first, because it's like the headquarters where
he's doing
the spy people he works
stuff,
with.
Yeah.
And but like he puts a pen into a thing and then secret door opens and he goes in and there's loads of spy people and whatever. And Billy Ray Cyrus. Now, I did not remember that he was in this film. In fact, I mean, when I would have seen it when I was younger, I wouldn't have known like who he was or anything. But I remember before I watched it this time, I saw something that mentioned that he was in this film, and I was like, "What? He's in this film?" And when I saw it, I was like, "This is just weird." You know, I don't know. It just feels strange, and he's like, his performance isn't exactly top notch. You know,
It's just Billy Ray Cyrus. He's not doing a character.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, oh no, Jackie Chan, you've got to do some spy stuff, and then he starts singing. I was gonna do one of his songs, though I realized I don't know any of his songs.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know any. But
I came in like a wrecking ball.
But it's just him on the record player.
Yeah. I came in like a wrecking ball.
Like father, like daughter. I can be a wrecking ball too. But yeah, and like I just love. It's that kind of film, and you see it a lot with like films that Jackie Chan is in and stuff, where they just do a lot of like cool looking smooth motion stuff. So like instead of just taking off his jumper and his shirt and stuff in a normal way that anybody else would, he stands in front of the hook that he's going to hang them on, and then kind of hooks his clothes on, just like slips out of his clothes, and he's got like his kind of spy kind of skin tight outfit underneath.
Yeah, his leotard.
Yeah, and he just slips out of it, and he's like, "Boom, I'm ready to go." And I'm like, he's so fucking cool. It's just something that they did at that era. I think,
it's a very like 2000s. I know it's 2010, but it's very sort of that thing, because like the transitions are wild as well. They're all like just like whip hands, and it's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah, whenever they move to a new location, right?
And then it's like gliding through the streets and Jackie Chan, bow bow bow, spy theme, bow. You know.
Yeah, and he's So we're kind of introduced to this whole spy thing, and he's got a mission that he needs to go on, which is kind of unclear. They're just like, oh, we've got this thing that you need to go and do. And he's like, cool. And then we see like some kind of warehouse thing, whatever it is that they're in. And it's a bunch of Russian, like evil Russian people. But it's like the most stereotypical. They all talk like this. They are all evil Russian. Like, the most over-the-top, over-exaggerated. Like, of course, the main guy has, like, a scarf for no reason on one side of his face. He calls one of the guys Yuri. Yeah. Like, it's just like, Yuri, come on, we need to make this thing happen, come on.
The worst one is the woman, like...
Oh, my God.
She is just so bad. There's a bit where, like, it's the evil Russian guy, and he's... You know, he's escaped prison or something, and there's like a joke where the bad guy's like, oh, prison was so bad, I hated it. And then she's like, you were in that for 2 hours. It's like, later she goes like, I think she's referring to Jackie Chan or like the Chinese government or something, but she goes,
yeah.
Chianese. Like,
wait, just this what?
She goes like, Chianese. Instead of Chinese.
Just right, yeah, no, I remember that, yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like, oh, evil Russian people are evil, and then he's holding like a mysterious... It's just the three of them, like this evil Russian guy and 2 other Russian henchmen just like stood in some kind of area. Somebody comes up and like gives him this vial, and he's like, ooh, and he's looking like this yellow liquid in this vial, and then the 2 henchmen guys are like fucking plumbers or something. They're just like, they're just, somebody
Mario,
got the Mario Brothers some work, and they're like, tightening some bolts on these pipes as we see Jackie Chan kind of doing all this like parkour to get in. Like, I love all the parkour stuff, and I've always loved that with like Jackie Chan films where somebody's like running after someone and then they do some like cool parkour thing, go up a wall or whatever. And he's getting into this place by doing some cool like parkour stuff, and drops down and beats up the guys pretty quick, and then goes against the faces against the head Russian guy. But obviously, like, he doesn't want Bob, or whoever his name is, like Jackie Chan's character, he doesn't want him to get the vial and know what it is. So he just like crushes it in his hand and kind of just like lets the rest of it drop. But I was like, that's glass. Why didn't he just like step on it or something? Just crushes it in his hand and just absolutely like jaggedly cuts his palm open his fingers.
I need the hospital.
No, that was big mistake from me.
Why did I do that?
I should not have crushed with hand.
I should have just thrown it. It probably would have broken.
It's just like he would have got his hand so badly, like completely open.
It's just like that he like crushes it, and then he goes to fight, and then he starts like swaying because of all the loss of blood. He's like, I don't feel very well actually. You then take me to prison.
Please take me to doctor first.
I feel funny. There was a weird chemical in there as well, so it's mixed with my blood.
Yeah, it is not good in bloodstream. I mean, like, it'd be like the the scene from, was it The Nice Guys, where he what's his name, Ryan? Getting Ryan Gosling. Yeah, I always get Reynolds and Gosling confused. Is when he like wraps his hand with some cloth and then like punches through the window, but just cuts his arm open, and he stood looking at his arm like it's just like that. He just crushes the vial and he's looking at it like, oh, please help. I've got my hand. But yeah, and then they have this cool like parkour chase again. Like, I love that stuff.
Yeah, the action in this is really good for a kid's like. I mean, it's Jackie Chan film, so of course
it's dialed down a bit from what you'd expect normally when you see Jackie Chan films and stuff. I think because of it being a kids' film, obviously there's not like crazy over the top violence. It's more slapsticky type. Violence,
but it's done so well.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, he's like chasing him, and then the weird thing is, he chases him up some like stairs, and then they have a bit of a face-off. Jackie Chan has like a belt that I think Batman has the same thing in like the animated series and stuff, where like he just kind of grabs his belt buckle and almost pulls the whole belt off, but it goes rigid like a sword. Almost. Yeah. And they're like kind of fighting a bit. And then like all the backup arrive, all these people with guns and stuff, and then Jackie Chan's like, haha, like, gotcha. And the Russian guy's like, oh no, I've been caught by the American dogs.
Oh no, I'm actually glad they're here because
I'm losing a lot of blood. I could not afford much longer, you see. I am dying.
I need urgent medical attention.
3 pints of blood on the floor.
Oh Please. My god, I'm so lightheaded. I shouldn't have done all those flips.
The parkour really took it out of me.
Why did I do that? I could have just walked up the stairs, but no.
It just passes out.
Yeah.
But I was like, I mean, again, especially with this, our famous motto, the story doesn't matter, but especially with this, like, it's very much tailored to be a kid's film, and so they're very lazy with, like, certain bits of writing. Like, I don't know why they sent Jackie Chan in there to fight those 3 guys, because they just then have like a whole squad of like armed officers show up as backup, and Jackie Chan's like, got ya. And I was like, oh, so why was he there then?
Yeah,
like what was the point of him being there? Because then when he gets back into the like spy HQ kind of thing, they're all like clapping and be like, whoa, yeah, you're the best man, yeah, you caught him, you caught like the most dangerous
man
he's like
on the planet. Or
he's like the most wanted man in America or whatever. This this super high up Russian mafia guy, and they're like, yeah, you did it, and he's like, that's it, like I'm retiring now. That's the end of my stuff. And I was like, why though? Like, why was he there? Did they need? It was just like they knew he was retiring, so they wanted to put him on a mission just to be like, one last ride. We've got the squad guys. Just wait. They're like, give him 5 minutes. He'll beat them up, and then we'll go after him, and we'll bust in with with our guns.
No, they're like
with our guns and armor.
He like murders those three henchmen or whatever, and then the guy like crushes the vial. He's bleeding out. He like punches him repeatedly, and then they all burst in, and they're like, got him! Happy retirement!
And he's looking at them, he's like cracked.
Yeah. The Russian's like bleeding out on the floor. There's two guys with their necks snapped.
He's not the
man. You said, I'm just actor.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. They set the whole thing up just for his retirement. Just beat the shit out. Yeah. They told me it was fake glass. It was real.
Please help me. Woo! Happy retirement.
I have another gig at 5 p.m.
This was meant to be my break. Break.
His eyes are really getting out of control.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like there is. I mean, again, yeah, kids' film. The whole point is Jackie Chan do some action, and then the kids don't like him. That's like the whole premise. Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's not boring. Really, he's actually super spy.
Yeah, but
boring is fine.
Yeah, literally. But they're like, they go to dinner. Jackie Chan and the woman go to dinner, and that bit just doesn't make any sense because she's like, first, happy 3 months of dating. Are we gonna get married? And you're like, oh, fucking hell. But then she's
I know, they really jumped in with that marriage stuff.
And then she's like, yeah, my kids don't like you. So if they don't like you, then I'm going to fucking break up with you.
Yeah, they were so casual about it, especially because they're talking in such a way of like, taking it to the next step. And he was going to like tell her about his actual job and stuff like that. And then she was like, but there's an issue. And he was like, your kids? And she was like, yeah. And he's like, they hate me. And she was just like, yeah.
And I was like,
damn,
wait,
don't break them.
Yeah. Is she breaking up with him?
Yeah. Because it's the whole thing of like, oh, if you marry, you're not just marrying me, you're marrying all of us.
It's a package deal.
It's a package deal. I was like, I mean, technically you are just marrying her. None of those kids are old enough to be married. But sure, like, yeah, you're marrying her. But yeah, like it's I don't know, again, maybe just the whole thing because it's a kid's film, so they're like, oh, two adults, they like each other and they date and then they get married.
Yeah. It's been 3 months, that's a long time in kid years.
I tell you, you're getting close to the line, you gotta get married soon. It's 3 months. You don't want to die first from old age. But yeah, and he kind of is obviously trying to make an effort to be nice to the kids and stuff, and I can't remember if it's before because he gets called off. He gets called off during the date, right? And is that when he goes and beats up all those people? I think it is. Because then afterwards, that's when he's like, I'm retiring because I want to get married. It's kind of a weird conversation because it's like, I get the whole thing of like, oh, if you're a spy, it would definitely, it would be difficult to maintain like a relationship because secrecy, and then because you've got to be probably going around the world and all this kind of stuff. Because he's like a Chinese agent that's on loan to the US or something.
Something like that, yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so then he's just like, oh, I'm just going to retire. And I guess he can just retire in the US. Like, I guess there's no issue, like, if he retires, then he has to return, Like, he's on loan to the US, and they're like, no, you can't just... What do you mean? You can't just stay there.
Yeah, he's like...
like, you're not an American citizen.
Yeah, you have a work visa. I mean, if you retire, you don't have a visa.
Yeah, your super secret spy visa.
Yeah. They're like, he's like, I'm going to retire. And then the CIA or whoever he works for, they're like, cool. You're under arrest. You don't have a visa. You shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
They've just been waiting to do that.
They just pack him up and send him off. Like, cool, bye.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so he wants to kind of the kids to like him. And so one of the things that he does is, because he said by this point, he's given up the spy life. So then you see this weird thing at night where he's putting on like a balaclava and he's kind of doing some parkour and climbing up the side of the house. And it's because earlier on, I think she, like the mum, what's her name, like Julia or something like Juliet, something
Julie,
like that.
yeah.
But she had said to him about how the aerial for the TV, like on the roof, needed fixing because the signal was really bad and all this kind of stuff. So then he does this like cool parkour stuff to get to the roof and kind of fix the aerial and fix the TV for them. But I just love that kind of using all these cool like spy things on just like the everyday.
Yeah.
So he's like climbing and exactly. Right.
If you could do a flip, like one standing flip up to a roof of the building or some shit, then you just would. If you needed to get up there, you'd be like, yeah, I'll just flip up there. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, well, I can do it, so why not? And he does this cool thing where he's like climbs up to one windowsill or something, but he kind of hooks his feet onto a ledge and like hangs upside down just by his feet being hooked over the ledge, and then kind of backward crawls his way up over the ledge. It's so weird, but it looks really cool. And it's just that sort of thing all the time. Like they just do that sort of like parkour stuff,
He does a bit where like it's the bit where he's like, because they go inside, they're like, fuck you, we don't care about our kitten anymore. And then he just like, he does some sweet parkour up onto the roof to get the cat down. But that's in broad daylight. Like no one sees.
He kind of looks around briefly, like, good to go.
No one's there. Yeah, it's like none of the neighbors are just like casually looking outside their window and just be like, "Is that Bob fucking flipping up the side of a building?" Huh? Interesting.
And he's like, "Got the cat."
Yeah. And even then, he does a fucking, because I think the youngest one, like, she's the one that likes all the
little girl
and stuff. Yeah. She keeps seeing him do all this stuff first before anyone else, right?
Yeah, because she does say that when the three of them are sat in the car when we're first introduced to Bob and he's outside with the mum, and the two older ones are like, "Fucking Bob, he's so boring." Yeah. And then the youngest one, the little girl, is her name like Laura or Lorna, something like that. And then she's like, "I like him. He's nice."
Does she? I didn't.
Yeah, she says that in the beginning. Yeah, she says in the beginning, like, "I like him, he's nice." But then she kind of, I think it's the whole thing of she just kind of copies her siblings. Later on, where like if they're being like, "Bob, you're so shit," then she'll be like looking at them and then fold her arms and be like, "Yeah."
Okay, because like later on, so he does that flip. He gets the cat, and she just goes like, and like walks inside. It's like he just fucking flipped up a building and got your kitten that you were like dying to get down, and now you're like, fuck you, Bob.
Yeah.
Don't care. You're still boring. You sell pens.
He's got the world against him.
Yeah.
Our Bob.
Our Bobby.
Yeah, our old Bobby. But yeah, I mean, I made a note saying, "My God, the kids are annoying as shit."
Yeah,
because
they are.
Like,
especially the oldest girl.
Yeah, because it's like, I know kids are a pain, and like, they do kind of things just to piss people off and all that sort of stuff. I know they're not like, angels, but it's very much the like over the top trope of kind of bratty kids where she's like super moody teenager, kind of like, "Get out of my room. Yeah. I hate you. I hate everything. I hate everyone. Get out of my room. You don't control me," and all this kind of stuff. And her brother is like, it's weird. It's that thing of like dialogue clearly written by an adult. And so it's weird for a kid to say it. There's just stuff he says. He's supposed to be like super smart. But then some of the stuff he says just seems a bit too old for him, especially when it comes to like girls, and he's like chatting up girls. But he's saying stuff where you're like, this dude's supposed to be, if he's younger than, at one point Jackie Chan says that the oldest girl is like 13. So this kid's got to be like 10.
Yeah, like max, yeah. Yeah, and there's a bit where he's like, he gets like put in a garbage can or something.
Yeah, he's getting bullied by the school bullies,
because he's fucking.
Because he's smart. Yeah.
But he's like, "Oh, I'll call my lawyer. You violated this thing." But then later on, like you said, he'll be talking to girls and he's like, wouldn't you like to suck my cock? Or, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, because there's one quote he says where he's like, if I told you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like,
fucking hell. Like,
no. Yeah, there are bits like that, which is just kind of weird. But yeah, generally the kids are really annoying. But the little, I mean, the youngest girl is just she's just like super young. So the only annoying thing she does is run around the house, super hyper, you know?
Yeah, I think that she's the least infuriating one.
She gets along with Bob and everything generally, so.
Yeah.
But they have what I do like in this, again, because it's a kid's film and they want to kind of teach, you know, morals and things like that by the end. But you have these good kind of deeper levels to most of the characters. So like the girl, I mean, she's really bratty and whatever. But then when he's fixing the aerial, Jackie Chan's character hears her talking on the phone to a friend. And it's a bit on the nose because she's literally saying all of the stuff right there. You know, the reason that I don't want him to marry my mum is because of this. But it's quite good because, you know, she's saying about how it's her stepmom, because she never calls her mum, she calls her Juliet, whatever her name is. It's her stepmom because the dad has gone away and she doesn't want them to get married because when he comes back it will cause complications and this kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, should she be getting married after 3 months? I mean, hey, some, you know, people do it, but it does seem pretty fast, especially with 3 kids and a complicated situation with a I'm assuming divorced partner elsewhere. You know, with everything going on. But
yeah, that girl is horrible. Because she's
excessively mean.
She's excessively mean, and the mum's putting up with it or whatever. But then at one point, she's snapped, and because they're all I don't like Bob, he stinks. And then the mum's so my happiness isn't important too? Nice guys. She's tearing up.
It gets real.
Yeah, she's this is important to me. You're not making an effort. You're upsetting me. And then she walks off. And then the girl's just so how are we going to break them up? I hate them. Yeah. I was just oh.
Yeah, because they have this, because I think she says to the kids, she kind of has this, the mum has this moment where she really opens up and she's you know, because he's nice and he doesn't do this and he doesn't cheat and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And for a moment I was I mean, do your kids need to, are they going to know, especially the youngest one, she's yeah, he's not a scumbag, you know, he doesn't beat me, he doesn't cheat and all this kind of stuff, and he's just saying all this stuff to the 10-year-old kids.
To a 4-year-old.
You know, yeah.
I bet he would pay child support, unlike your bum of a dad who left me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. She's telling all of this to her, being this isn't your dad.
Yeah.
You know? And
yeah.
And then you have that kind of deeper moment where she's you know, my happiness is important too, whatever. And then they're just oh, the cookies that she left on the side when she got really sad that she was going to bring to us, and she put it down when she had a rant. Let's just eat these cookies and plot how we're going to destroy Bob and you know, take him apart piece by piece.
But yeah, I think it's at that point where she's it's that. That's all the build up, and then we get the main thing. Oh, the mum. She gets a call. The mum, and she has to go to see her dad in hospital because he's fallen or something. I can't remember what they say.
I'm fallen,
and I can't get up. So that's the whole reason why she's oh, Bob, why don't you? Or he's why don't I look after the kids and we can be friends or whatever. But she says because the kids are all pissy, and they're we don't want to stay with Bob. Meh. And the mum's oh, don't worry. If you're good, I'll get you something from the hospital gift shop. And I was is that a thing? Do they have those?
I think some places do have things. Well, because I guess you can buy something small to give to somebody who's
but a gift maybe. Shop? What's
all I know is it was in Doctor Who when he was oh, gift shop. I love a gift shop. I love a little shop.
Yeah, but
as an hospital.
Just fucking Doctor's oh, I'm so sorry. Your father's passed away. We did everything we could, but we just couldn't save him. But buy a teddy. Like, here's a shitty rubber that just smudges the pencil all over the page instead of rubbing it out. You know, those fucking it says hospitals on it.
It's just like, unfortunately, we couldn't save him, and the bleeding on his brain was too much. If you'd like to leave via the gift shop,
yeah, exactly.
You can get like a voucher.
Yeah. Just like fucking. Like it's kids crying and like, oh, granddad's passed away. Oh, taffy and like a fudge. Oh, mom, please.
Yeah. She's like dealing with so much shit.
My father's dead. Like, mom, please, I want a fucking teddy with a hospital gown on it or some shit like that. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah. But the fact that she's like, it's like this guy who's her neighbor that she's been seeing for 3 months. I don't know how long they knew each other beforehand, but if he was on loan from the Chinese government, then he's probably not been there that long. But she's like, oh, this guy that I've known for 3 months, I'll let him, or that, you know, she's been dating for 3 months.
Yeah.
I'll let him just like look after my kids that clearly hate him. And there's like a big rift between everything. And it's like a point of contention that could break us up. And she's like, yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah, you look after.
What a lovely idea.
Yeah, because she's like, are you sure you can handle everything? Like, he doesn't have it. She knows he doesn't have any kids. Yeah. So she's like, are you sure that you can suddenly be thrust into this and handle, like, cooking for them, cleaning after them, like, watching them all the time, making sure that you know that they're not kind of getting up to trouble and destroying things, you know, putting them to bed, making sure that they're up for school, making sure they've got everything they need for school, like all the responsibilities that come with having kids. And he's like, yeah, it'll be all right. He's like, oh, yeah, I got this. Yeah, it's all good. Like, well, you know, what's a few days?
He's like, yeah, I'm a spy. I've taken down international like supervillains. I can handle it. I mean, I sell pens.
I mean, I've sold a tricky pen or two in my time. You know.
She's like, what? She's like, nothing. Don't worry.
In many ways, you know, pens are like children. He's like tries to pull an analogy out of his ass.
You click them on, or you twist them on. You know. She's like, what?
She's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you don't really do much with pens. That's one of the only things I had. I don't know. Sometimes they break.
Like, what?
What are you talking about? My children.
You're gonna break my children?
No, I just, you know, sometimes you just gotta. I sell pens.
Sometimes you know, you have a ballpoint pen and you don't use it for a while, and then the ink dries up, so the little ball can't twist, and then it's useless.
She's like, what does that have to do with kids? And he's like. Nothing really. I don't know what I'm doing. This is a terrible idea. Yeah. Realistically, we shouldn't do this.
Why don't I leave and I look after your dad?
Yeah. Now, old people, they're more like pens.
They're more like a fountain pen, you know? Because of all the piss. Run out.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. Oh, no. But at some point, we get Billy Ray Cyrus as well, calling him up. Just to be like, by the way, we got a mole in the we got a mole in the agency, but it's not me. Don't worry. Don't you worry about a thing. Yeah, it's not me. And then everybody watching is like, oh, it's him.
Yeah.
It turns out not to be him in the end, which is a good kind of like.
It's a good fake out, yeah. But
it's a good fake out, but it was just a very weird short scene that was just very like, by the way, there's a mole, and it's not me.
It is not me. I am not mole.
Yeah. And Jackie Chan's like, okay, sure. I don't think I believe that.
Jackie Chan's like, surely you should. Are you meant to be sharing this?
Yeah, over the phone, like in the office where everyone else is around.
Yeah, like, are you gonna? Sure, you should be. I'm just a pedestrian now. I retired.
Oh yeah,
tell me all this shit. And then he's like, oh, also, by the way, can you decipher this code for me? I know you're retired, but I can't be asked. So here you go.
Yeah, it's just a computer thing. You don't have to go out and fight people.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's like, I'm a pedestrian. I am retired. Leave me alone.
Yeah. But he does, you know, he downloads it onto his super spy computer and he's going to like try and crack it. But then he like closes it all down. So you would assume that it's all locked up tight. Like because he has this kind of thing where it's the pen thing, where he puts the pen into a certain kind of slot, and then it opens, like everything kind of moves outwards and opens up this like big supercomputer type spy thing, and then he's doing all the encoding stuff, and then when he hears that somebody's about to come in, he like takes the pen away and it closes everything up and it's just a normal computer. So you would assume that you wouldn't have access through that computer to all of the spy stuff, and it would be locked off. But when the kids are like snooping around trying to find some dirt on him, the boy kid Ian, that's his name, boy kid Ian.
Boy kid Ian.
Or is one word, like boy kid Ian.
Boy kid Ian.
Boy kid Ian. So
and Jackie Chan.
But he is just like, oh, a computer. I mean, he literally says like, a computer. I'm going to have a look on it and see if there's anything I can find. And he just like finds this super secret document that Jackie Chan was trying to like decode and puts it onto his iPod.
First of all, how?
They keep calling it an iPad. I'm sure they do. And it's definitely not an iPad. I feel like, I mean, maybe it was just the weird Russian accent.
Yeah. It's iPad.
He's like, I don't have an iPad. And he's like, no, P-O-D. Oh, iPod. Right, yes. Sorry, your over-exaggerated Russian accent made it difficult to understand. And he's like, I'm not even Russian.
It's just the lack of blood. I'm delirious.
But yeah, the kid downloads it onto his iPod because he thinks it's like a festival thing.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. It was
just kind of a weird thing, yeah.
Because he goes back to school and he's like, oh, I've got this really obscure concert that I've downloaded on my iPad or iPod. God damn it, you got me doing it now.
Yeah.
And he shows it to some bullies, and they're like, oh, this isn't an obscure concert that's been recorded and we that really like for cool. Some. Yeah. How dare you? We're gonna beat you up now. It's just like, what?
And then they literally like give him this one of those massive wedgies that definitely like cut off circulation to this poor guy's entire bottom half of his body, and then throw him into a trash can like head first. And this happens. It's like, you know, the typical kind of like, oh, American school kid getting bullied, put in a locker or put in the trash can or whatever. But then he gets like told off for it. Like he gets in trouble. Because like later on, Jackie Chan's kind of called in to, I mean, by the way, she did say like before that their aunt was going to come down and look after them. Like the aunt could have come down anyway, and Jackie Chan just like help her out.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, again, the story doesn't matter, but like it's one of those things where I just thought about it because when they were sat in the principal's office and the principal was like, oh, what relation are you to this kid? Like, she just let this random dude in that she didn't know with the kid. And she was like, what relation are you? And he's like, I'm the neighbor. And I was just like, that's fucking sketch as hell. Like,
yeah, it sounds like you're just lying. Like, I'm their neighbor.
Yeah,
Come
she's just
give
like
the children to me.
Yeah, she's just like, okay then. If you're the neighbor, I believe you. Don't need any kind of identification. Yep. Don't need you to be related to the person. Anybody can come in. It's fine. Yeah, doesn't matter.
I'm terrible at my job.
Yeah. But yeah, and they're like telling the kid off because she's like, oh, the kid always lies about stuff and makes up these stories about how he met this famous person or he's been to this famous place. I think like one of them was like the Playboy Mansion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But she's like making out, you know, she's like, oh, well, I don't know. He always lies about this kind of stuff. And I was like, he's a kid. Like kids
always lie.
Yeah, kids, they just make up stuff.
Yeah. And what, he's like lying about being beaten up? So you think he wedged
like
himself?
Everybody saw him. Yeah, exactly.
Dived
saw him,
into
like,
the trash can? Like, why would he do
that? By those boys.
She's like, nah, he always lies. Don't believe it.
Yeah, kids always
Anything
lie.
He says.
It's just like with Fant Forstick last week where, the week before, wasn't it? Where the teachers are just assholes for no reason.
Yeah, literally.
You know?
It's the same school.
Yeah, it's the same, literally, it's all the same stuff. But yeah, you get to kind of see, you know, Jackie Chan's trying to manage looking after these kids because, again, he's just been thrown into looking after 3 kids. I mean, 3 kids. One of them's like
young kids
13,
as well.
So yeah, but they're still young. Like, they still need looking after. So he's just thrown into looking after all of these kids. You see him kind of being a bit overwhelmed and stuff. And there's the bit where he's chasing the youngest kid around because he's trying to get her into the into her like kind of onesie pajamas or whatever.
Yeah.
And I do love the interactions between those two because it's always really cute. I think because she's always kind of like, definitely. She likes him from the beginning, and so they have a lot of the kind of like bonding moments and stuff like that and whatever. And she's kind of squealing and laughing and running away from him while he's trying to catch her to actually get her dressed into her pajamas. And then when he catches her, he fucking throws her up into the air and then like kind of like a circus act looks where she's going to land so that he can like hold open the pajamas so that she just goes straight down into them as she falls back down. But just the way it's shot is so funny because she goes so high in the air. Like I thought she was just going to hit the fucking ceiling.
It's like just fucking lobs her. She hits the ceiling, gets knocked out, and he's like,
"Well, I don't have to chase around anymore.
I am way over my head.
Yeah.
What am I doing?"
Yeah, he's like, "I'll put the pajamas on now. She'll probably be fine. I'll put it to bed."
Yeah, she's asleep now. That bit has the best line in it as well. That my favorite line, because he does the flipping thing. He catches her and then puts her down, and she's all like, "Whoa!" And he goes like, "Can your mummy do that? Sleep." I was like, okay, wow.
Yeah, and then I mean, she's the same. She's like, okay, okay, I'll go to sleep.
Just flipped me 3 feet into the air.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing as well is, on top of him having to do all of this, the mum says about the fact that Halloween is going to happen during this time, right? So she's like, "Oh yeah, you've got to do plan the costumes and all this kind of stuff for that Halloween. Like, can you manage all of that?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah." And then he calls up Billy Ray Cyrus and he's like, "What is Halloween?" So he can't have even been there for like a year.
Yeah, he's definitely been there for 3 months.
Yeah,
He arrived next door, undercover, saw his neighbor and was like, "Damn." And then she as well, she's like, "I'm emotionally damaged from my previous
and he's moving
marriage.
boxes into his house.
Yeah, from my 2 previous marriages or whatever, and I'm emotionally damaged. Oh, hey, you want to get married?
Yeah, like red flags, dude. Yeah. But yeah, so then he is then. I love the quote when he goes and drops them off to school because again, we're seeing him kind of being really bad at everything. He's trying to get them like breakfast and stuff ready for school, but all of the like porridge is just one solid block and all this kind of stuff. And he's accidentally setting things on fire, and they're all looking at him like, Bob. Yeah. Bob can't do anything. Bob's really rubbish. He drops them off at school, and then he turns around to the youngest, and he's like, "What do you do all day?" She's like, "Nothing. I'm 4."
That bit just made me
such
laugh.
A great innocent quote.
And
he's just like,
funny.
Okay. Yeah, and he kind of takes her to go and get like Halloween costume. But like, he's kind of joking. He's just like joking around with her, kind of saying, "What do you want to be? Do you want to be a Frankenstein?" And he's got like a little kind of paper or plastic Frankenstein mask he's just holding up to his face. And he's like, "Do you want to be Frankenstein? Do you want to be this?" And then, I mean, she's looking a bit kind of like, ugh. But he's just having a bit, trying to
he's just
kind of joke with her a bit. Yeah. And then this like nearby mum is like, "Do you want to be a princess, honey?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then she's like smiles at her and then looks at Bob like, "You fucking idiot.
Yeah, you
stupid piece of shit.
Of course
she wants to be a princess.
Stupid idiot.
What do you think she's here for?" Come on. I was like, gee, I mean, she could want to be Frankenstein, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
She does want to be a princess at the time, but...
Yeah, but still, like, if a woman did that, if I had a kid, and then I went into the store buying her fucking, princess outfit, and I'm like, "What do you want to be? Do you want to be Frankenstein or ha ha ha?" And some random woman was like, "She wants to be a princess." I'd be like, "Leave me and my child alone, you weirdo.
Never talk to me or my son or daughter again."
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
I'm having a nice moment with my child.
Yeah.
Leave us alone.
Like,
stick to your own fucking...
Step
Do you
away.
even have a child? I don't remember the scene. Does she have a child? Like,
yeah,
or are you just there? You're just there to judge us.
Them. And it's like, oh, what, they all want to be princesses, huh? Well, you can keep that for your kids. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my kids are allowed to be whatever they want, not just conformed into your society of princesses. If she wants to be Frankenstein, she can, you stupid bitch.
And she's like, no, I want to be a princess. He's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, like, yeah, well, I'm not going to do what... Yeah, you fucking suck. Just like run off. Start crying.
But they again they try and fit in as many excuses for Bob to do some really cool like parkour stuff like wherever possible, because he puts on again, he's not very good at picking out the princess outfit, so he eventually, you can kind of see what's going to happen as well, because there's loads of little girls running around with the same outfit, like the pink hat and the pink dress, and he finds one for her. And as he goes to try and find like a smaller size, because she says it's too big, he turns around and she's gone. And he's like panicking, having a look, trying to find her. And it's just like a sea of other little girls that all look the same in the same outfits and stuff. And then he sees her going down an escalator that he's like too far away to really catch up. Yeah. So he does like a running jump and grabs onto this like hanging kind of drapes and stuff for like Halloween drapes. And then kind of uses that to then jump onto the escalator and slide all the way down and everything and pick her up. And I'm just like, yes, just do this every day, just in every kind of weird situation. Anything you need, just like parkour everywhere, like some insane parkour moves. It's so good.
He does like parkour just to get her, and then that same woman's like, you should have used the stairs like everyone else
do you
does.
Want to see parkour, sweetie?
Yeah.
No.
Can you do that, honey? No, you want to be a princess. Can't let me talk to child services. Like,
that's him over there, officer. He's like, Jesus Christ, people, please.
But yeah, cause they're doing the whole like the thing where they don't like him, and then he has interactions with each of the kids, and they slowly get to like him. So they have their little shopping trip, and she's like, "Oh, that was fun." And then he's like to the kids, "Don't be so fucking creepy to women. Let me teach you how to."
Because that's when the kid is like, "If I told you you have a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?"
It's like this 10-year-old like, "Hey, baby."
Yeah, and to this girl who's like supposed to be like 13, 14 or something.
yeah, it's like fucking hell. So,
it's like, hey. She's like, I'm too young for this. You are definitely too young for this.
Yes. Please stop talking to me. I will tell the principal. And they'll believe me because you always lie.
Yeah.
And then we have like the mean girl who's, she's like the half sister or whatever, the older one. And she's like, I don't like Jillian and blah, blah, blah. And they have a bit of one-to-one. And then we do like the montage thing of he couldn't handle it before, but now he can. He's cooking porridge all right, and he's making bacon.
Yeah, he kind of puts all this extra effort in.
Look at him go. And then like they're trying to fight back. They're like, he's doing it now. Let us fuck things up. And they feed what is meant to be sugar to the youngest one, so she's like really hyper.
Like a massive, it's not even just like a tablespoon, it's like a massive, it's a big
serving spoon.
A serving spoon, that's it, of sugar. Yeah. Pure sugar.
But you say that, there's no fucking way it's sugar. She's off her fucking nut. It must be like, it's like cocaine or something. She's like fucking
just straight to the gun.
Around. She's like, woo! Woo! She's like running around the room. They do the cool thing of like, he's moving at normal speed, but they've like sped her up, doing all these different movements, like trying on costumes and stuff. I wish, I like to think she later on in the film we cut to her. She's like on a come down, just like shaking, like
she's going cold turkey.
Yeah,
just like 4-year-old kid.
Yeah. He's like, that was weird. Anyway, let's get on with the film. We just hard cut back to her, and she's like,
"Have you got anything fucking?" Jesus. But you do have really like cute moments where he's trying to get her to like settle down, and she won't settle down and everything. So then he starts like singing to her in Chinese, singing her this like Chinese song, and then she kind of falls asleep to it. And I was like, oh man, I want Jackie Chan to sing me to sleep in Chinese.
He's like patting her back as well. It looks so soothing. He's like, duh, duh, duh. And you're like, Jackie Chan.
I might just go to sleep myself, you know.
Turn this film off. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, but you kind of get that. That's the kind of turnaround where the older sister kind of sees that he is good with the little sister and stuff, and she's kind of like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And then Jackie Chan decides to, his character Bob, but like he decides then to call in a favor from his friends at his spy friends, to give him loads of like spy equipment to help him with all of this stuff, right? To help him with kind of managing the kids and stuff. That's when he sets up like loads of cameras around the house so that he can see what they're all doing and stuff. Like, not in a, he sets up, like, you know, he's got one that's like outside the bathroom looking at like the door, and then when there's like a dispute where the older sister won't leave the bathroom, and the what is his name? Is Boy Kid something?
Buckidian.
Buckidian, whatever. But he's like, let me in, you've been in there for ages, whatever. And then Jackie Chan is like looking on the camera at this, and then he just presses a button and the door itself opens. And she's like, I'm like, yeah, but she's in the butt. Like, she could be taking a shit. She could be anything, you know, and it just opens the door, and she's like, oh my God, you know, my privacy. You're taking away my privacy, even if I'm being shit. And like, he just sets up this total, like I said, this kind of, it's like this 1984, like, Big Brother Bob is just watching, and like he's got these cameras up.
Yeah, there's a bit later where she's like, because she's all slutty as well for some reason. She's wearing like a short skirt or something.
Yeah,
because they do it earlier in the film. Like the mum's like, oh, you can't wear that to school. It's so revealing. Blah. And I'm like, well, you bought it.
It's a very short skirt. Okay. Yeah.
But then he does the same thing, but it's over like a tannoy. He's like, should you be wearing that to school?
she's looking like, around. Like,
she's like, where
coming from?
Fuck is that? Like, that's not traumatizing for a 13-year-old. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm being monitored now. Yeah. And he's just like, go and change. You shouldn't be wearing this kind of thing. And she just accepts it. She's like, oh, it's war. And I was like, she's fine with this. Just call her mum, be like, he's clearly set up cameras and like a speaker system, and he's using all of these gadgets to control us and set up a dystopian rule.
And the mum's like, he's doing such a good job. As long as it's not a spy, then we're all good.
Yeah, but because the middle kid, the boy, Ian, that was it. Oh yeah, of course, Boy Kid Ian. Yeah, right. Yeah. I remember it now. But the joke I said earlier. But because he downloaded it onto the iPod/iPad, it kind of like sent off a ping because it was downloaded, so that the Russians are like, we have found where it has come from. They have downloaded it onto a device in this location, and send like a whole squad of them over there. And I think, it's just the little girl who's there because the others are at school and whatever, and Jackie Chan has to like fight off a bunch of them in the garden and stuff. And again, I love the whole thing where he's just using things in the environment around him. And again, I think because it's, you know, a kid's film, so there are bits where they'd have like a knife or a gun or whatever, but it's never like really kind of brutal. So he's just picking up those things, like there's a ladder that he uses to kind of lock some guy in place and then push him off the edge and all this kind of stuff. They use the Wilhelm scream in it as well when he pushes the guy off of the like edge and he falls off. And I was just like, yes! You got to get that in, you know, now and then.
But it's really like, it's well done action. Even though it's a kid's film, like, no one's getting murdered or anything. Well, sort of.
I mean,
yeah, but like no one dies. But he's like, he's got a pool. What's this? It's like a big pool net. Fish out leaves and stuff, and like it extends, and he like pokes one of them with the front, and then like extends the pole and like throws it out behind him and at the woman. She's like, ugh. I was just like, this is quite impressive.
Like fun choreography.
Yeah, exactly. It was really good. Again, it's Jackie Chan. Like, of course, the choreography is going to be really good. But still, I was like, damn, this is pretty good.
It like holds up to how you, at least to a degree of like how you remember it when you saw it as a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that ladder bit was like the only bit I remembered from when I saw it when I was younger. I think like pretty much I saw the ladder and I was like flashbacks immediately. I was like, oh my god, this is the thing where he gets the guy's neck with the end of the ladder. I remember this. This was good, you know. But he pulls the other kids out of school and he's like, you know, we've got to kind of go into hiding.
He's like, gigs up.
You know, yeah, let's go get some food.
Yeah.
So he takes them to like a restaurant. And I can't remember when this guy shows up. Like, does he go and talk to someone else first?
The restaurant. Or... So they go to the restaurant, and Jackie Chan's like, "Go inside. I need to make a phone call." He calls like the actual mole, not Billy Ray Cyrus, and he's like, "Help me, help!" And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm on it. I'm coming to you." And then fucking fucking pedophile alert. Like,
massively.
He comes back, and there's just this, like, fucking...
He's gonna be, like, 18, at least.
He says, like, oh, I'm working at the uni. Like, fucking... okay, like, spoilers, it turns out he's actually a secret Russian agent who's trying to kill Bert. But still, he says, like, oh, I'm a uni student, you know, and I'm just talking to this 13-year-old girl.
He's like kind of being all impressive kind of thing and like chatting her up and just like, oh.
He's so great. I think it's fucking Chad or something. He's like, Chad's so great. And they're like going inside and Jackie Chan's like, I've got 2 words for you. 13.
Yeah. I was like the absolute legend. He stops him and he's like, 13.
Yeah.
He's making sure that he knows. Like, you know.
Just so we're clear, you're a fucking freak.
But it's just kind of funny because you're like, I guess Russian spies will stoop to making themselves look like, I mean, in this, you know, kind of thing. Because it's like, oh, of course, he's the evil Russian guy. So it's like, he's going to stoop to make himself look like a pedophile. Yeah,
because then he comes in, like, he gets sat at the same table, and he's so fucking persistent. He's like, oh, you know, I'll take you round on a private tour around the university to, like, this 13-year-old girl. And you're just like, fucking hell.
Yeah, and then in turn, she's turning to Jackie Chan. She's like, you're not my dad. You couldn't stop me anyway if you want to, you know, all this kind of stuff.
Even if it was a date. Like, what are you... What?
It's like, no. But then Jackie Chan's like, all right, well, I've got to find an excuse to beat this guy up. So he unveils him as being a Russian spy. And then they have like a cool choreography kind of thing and fighting and everything. And that's when the kids are like, oh, this is actually a thing. Like, you're not a boring pen dude. You're actually a super spy. But then I love the moment when the mole cop guy arrives and then Jackie Chan goes and like speaks to him. It's like an 80s kind of detective or police drama thing where they're talking and then I think Jackie Chan suspects him or something. I don't remember. But the way he pulls out his gun is such a like, I don't know how to describe it without miming it. I'm miming it right now. But like he kind of pulls it out really quickly.
Yeah,
and he's holding it kind of really close to his chest, and he's like pointing at him, and it looks like one of those comedy things like you'd see out of because it's so like quick,
and
it just looks really awkward and like staged.
It looks so stylized. He's like, see, the gig's up, see,
yeah. But I was like, oh wait, so Billy Ray isn't the mole?
Yeah,
I was like, I still, to be honest, I was like, oh god, no, he's back. Put the other Aiden on the line.
Yeah, then
what have you done to him?
Then he drinks a Stella and then he fucking... I'm sorry.
Just midway through, I don't even know what to say.
I usually open them before. I'm not actually drinking
all
Stella,
of them.
By the way. It's just Coke.
You've got like, before each podcast, you open like 3 cans. Just so you have to open them on the podcast.
Just like off my nut,
way through.
Woo! That's why I slur my words so much. It's say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Not because I can't speak. It's because
far too much sugar.
I'm fucking drunk.
But yeah, and then the mole kind of reveals himself, and at that point I was like, wait, so are they both the mole? Like him and Billy Ray? Because I'm sure he's still the mole. And then Jackie Chan he hits him with something, but he knocks him out with a little turtle that he was given by the youngest girl to like look after, and he put it in his pocket.
Yeah.
And he knocks him out with like the shell of that turtle, and I was like, fucking hell, is he okay?
Yeah.
He hit him in the face like hard enough.
Like fucking the turtle's shell. You know, turtles, like, their shell is part of their body. It's not like a case around them. Like, that's where their organs are. He's like, bah! He's like, fucking, crush this turtle in this fucking guy's face. I mush the turtle all over him.
Yeah. But yeah, and then, you know, you kind of have the kids are all like, oh my god, you're a super spy. Like, it's either, depending on which kid it is, it's either really cool or it's like, you're awful. And they end up calling the mum when they get back to they don't go back to the house, do they?
They go back to a safe house, which is really weird because he's like, oh, like to the mole, he's like, oh, do you have a safe house for me? And he's like, yeah, I've set it all up. It's all good. And then he reveals himself to be the mole. I didn't even think of that. And then they still go to the safe house, which means like
yeah, it's in the name. It's a safe house.
Yeah. Like it's like, yeah, I'm stitching you up because I'm the mole, but I did make the safe house for you still.
Yeah,
like,
I did promise you that. It's called, I mean, it's called the safe house, so you don't need to worry. I'll leave you be. But if you step outside of that safe house, this isn't a safe drive. This isn't a safe garden. Okay, we'll take you down.
Because it's like the older one that tells her mum, right? Because she's
she calls her up.
Because she's like, oh, you've been lying to her this whole time. You got to tell her. Blah blah blah. I'll tell her.
Yeah, no, she starts telling the mum, and then the mum's like,
don't lie.
Well, I mean, quite understandably, because it does sound ridiculous. Yeah. She's like, you know, oh, I would have expected this from your lying little shit brother, but not from you. And then Jackie Chan's character kind of takes the phone off of her, and he's like, nah, it's true though. I am a spy, and I have put your kids in danger. And then she's just like, the way he ends the call was so like, because she was like, I don't know if you're crazy or you're telling the truth or something like that. And then he was like, either way, you should come pick up your kids now. Yeah. And I was like, don't leave it on that note. That's such a scary, like, either way, come and pick up your kids now. Yeah.
You
know, like, before
the stranger you've met for 3 months, I've got your kids and you've got to come get them back.
Yeah. If you can.
But the mum has super fucking strength. Like, she hangs up and she's like, oh my god, I gotta get a taxi before, like, I gotta get over there right now. And there's a guy getting in the taxi before.
Oh my god,
and she fucking yeets him. Like, she grabs him by the shirt and pulls him back, and he goes fucking flying.
Yeah.
Like, he sails off into the distance, into the sky.
It's the power of a mother's strength when her kids are, it's like, you know, lifting a car to get them out of a car crash or whatever. Stuff.
She's like, my children are in danger. Yeah.
She's like, muscles ripping through her thing. She's like, just throws them out. Yeah, and then it's the bit. One of the things I've noted here is the bit where they're asking him if he's got any other like cool gadgets, and he's like, oh yeah, I've got this ring. This is Jackie Chan, or his character, and he's like, oh yeah, I've got this cool ring. And he like presses a button or whatever he does with it. And this small spinning, like it has to be incredibly sharp. This small spinning blade comes out of the top and it's just like, it's obviously used for, you know, cutting through things, whatever. Yeah. And the kid, the middle kid, the boy is just like, oh, let me touch it. And he's like reaching out towards it. I was like, how... surely you would, even if you're that young, you wouldn't see a razor blade and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to touch that. Because then Bob is like, oh, don't touch, it's very sharp. But he put it like right in the kid's face. He was like, oh, look at this.
Look at this sharp blade.
Look at this.
Touch it. Yeah, like
so dumb.
And then the mum comes and she's so mad at him, but I don't get why. Like,
I mean, it's putting your kids in danger.
I guess so, but, like, not really. He's retired now. Like, they're only coming after him because the kid, your fucking stupid idiot kid, downloaded a file on a stranger's computer. Like,
Yeah,
that's on you, honey.
Yeah, like, yeah, no, I get.
And like then Russians come. Literally, they don't give a shit. They're gonna fucking murder these kids, and he protects them. And still, she's like, and also he's literally going to tell her that he was a spy at dinner, like way earlier, and then she cuts him off. She's like, "My kids don't like you, by the way. So if we're gonna get married, they've got to like you." And
yeah.
she's like, "Nah, fuck you. I know you saved him, but nah, can't be married. I hate you. Bye."
It's only been 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 3 months, so it's not that deep. But you know, fuck you. How dare you? I was just like, that's just. I mean, yeah, she's got a track record of jumping, but I was like, that's such a jump to be like, I hate you, you spy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Dare you?
I mean, I guess like.
I get the whole thing of
you kind of have like a thing of like, okay, what is going on, and kind of maybe talk to him first, but I don't know. I mean, I guess just because you could still say, I mean, that he put the kids in danger because he allowed that stuff to like be on the laptop, and you can't really blame the kids for like being curious and downloading whatever and whatever. But then again, the kids are like,
yes, you can. You can blame him. I blame him.
Oh well, we'll blame him. Yeah, it's their fault. Fuck them. Give them to the Russians.
Yeah, I can take the kids.
Here you go. Just take them. Honestly, I'm done.
She's like, you put my kids in danger. And he's like, yeah, but he downloaded files. She's like, oh, yeah, all right.
She's like, oh, he did it. Oh, yeah. All right then. No, I'm on your side.
Yeah,
I'll marry you. We can. I don't know. We can get these guys to the Russians.
But I mean, like, still, because later on, they're like, they chase him down, and because the kid's still got the iPod, they go to his house, and Jackie Chan realizes, so he's like, oh, I've got to go save him, blah, blah, blah. And then the fucking entire, like, Russian mafia is in their house, and Jackie Chan's just beating the fuck out of them, saving them again, and still, the mum's just like, oh, I can't believe you came back. Like, you're such a bad man. It's like, he's saving you. But it just, you know, you can talk about if you don't want to date, that's fine. There are murderers around you. Be thankful.
Some of them as well, that like, they're not even unconscious yet. And he's like, can we talk about this another time? Yeah. These people are like trying to kill us right now.
And she's like, I can't believe you didn't tell me. You're such a bad man.
I can't believe you've done this. Yeah, and then I like the bit when they all have like different gadgets and stuff that I'm assuming they stole and moved to a different drawer or something, because he's trying to find, Jackie Chan's trying to find his gadgets to help him out, and he can't, so he's just using stuff like around the house to beat them up with, which is really cool. But the kids find them and they're like kind of just dishing them out. And there's one bit where this like massive big brute of a guy kind of walks up to the youngest girl, and he's like, what you got to do with that? Because she's pointing like a pen or something at him. She presses the button, and this like small explosive hits him. It's not like a proper explosive, but it's like a forceful thing that just makes him go flying backwards. But I just thought it'd be really funny if it was like a small gun. It was like a pen small gun, and she just presses the button and it just like shoots and kills him. And then then everyone's like, what the fuck? Oh my god, you just killed him. And she's like, I'm 4. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, but they all murder them anyway. Like,
I suppose because they get chucked out the window or something.
The oldest definitely fucking murders someone. She's being chased by that creepy paedophile uni student from earlier, and she's like, take this, and she drops like
oh my god,
fucking TV on his head, like
a massive like chunky TV.
Yeah, like the old
big
TV.
Box.
His head goes through the glass. It's like on his head. He's dead. Like,
from that,
she's like,
dropped from like the floor above him.
Yeah, she's like, take this. Oh, are you? He's not moving. The other guy's is like, that blood?
You killed him.
Yeah, my
crazy
son.
American girl.
Yeah, I know he had his issues. He wasn't beautiful. Actually, it's fine. I don't mind.
He was beyond saving, so
yeah. It's fine. Yeah, maybe that's why no one says a thing.
Yeah, true.
Like, they were like fighting the Russians, and then she drops the fucking TV, and everyone just stops. They're like, "Oh my god, you just killed that guy. We gotta do something. We gotta call the police. You're going away. You're going to juvie, and then you're going to normal prison. That's manslaughter. You're going away, little girl."
And then it's like, oh wait, no, he's a pedophile. It's fine.
yeah. The police turn up and they're like, "Wait, isn't this a pedo? Oh, it's fine.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, but yeah, and then after they kind of, they have the whole thing. Like after all that, they fought off the Russian people, and everything kind of settles down a bit. And then, yeah, like we said, she kind of tells Bob, like, you got to get the fuck out. So he leaves. But then the kid, Ian, is just like, I want to be a spy like Bob is. After seeing all of this, like, truly horrific, like, people trying to kill him and all this kind of stuff. And then he's, like, putting on this, like, small balaclava and all this kind of thing, and going out his window, and he's left his mum a note saying, like,
I'm going to be a spy.
I'm going to be a spy now. I can just imagine her being, like, turning to Bob and be like, what the fuck have you done to him? Like, he's running. He's like 8 years old. He's running off to be a spy. Like, oh my god, this kid's gonna get fucking killed. And he nearly does. Like, they get caught by all the Russian people again in a warehouse, and they get tied up and everything. And Bob passes his ring with the blade in it to the kid. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll pass this to you, and I'm assuming. I think he then cuts Bob's ropes, or maybe it's just the ropes between them. I'm not sure.
I don't know, because
he passes it to the kid to cut the ropes so that they could get free. And I was like, this kid's gonna die probably. Like, this kid's gonna like lose some fingers. Like, what the hell?
And I thought, like, I mean, maybe it's a little bit different, but I thought like he was giving him the ring because he's like, oh well, the kid wanted to be a spy. Let's, have a go on this. You can do a little bit of a spy thing. And I was like, don't fucking give him...
Yeah, with like a small circular saw blade.
Yeah. It's like...
He just hears the kid like screaming in the chair behind him, like tied up. And he's like, shit, that was such a bad idea. Why did I even think of doing that?
Yeah.
Why did I give him a live circular saw blade?
And everyone starts turning around. They're like, oh, well, someone's screaming. What's going on? Oh my god.
Did you just give that kid a blade?
Yeah, the kid cut his finger off. What's wrong with you?
They're like, we weren't going to kill him. We were just going to let him go. I mean, he's a kid. We're not going to kill him.
Yeah. You've killed him. He's losing a lot of blood. Yeah. Our boss is dead, and now this kid's going to die from the same reason, lack of blood.
Oh, man. But yeah, and they kind of just... What happens there? So they have that, like, fight. That's what you said in the summary, that they have the kind of fight then where Jackie Chan uses the bike that the kid Ian rode there with, and he's like using the bike in all those kind of inventive ways to beat people up with it. It's quite funny.
Yeah. And
then I think Billy Ray shows up then.
Yeah.
He has like, because I think they've got the recording of the Russians' evil plan, because the kid Ian like recorded it on his phone or something. Yeah. He's like, again, he's one of those characters where he's a kid, but he's written like a lot more adult, because he's like totally fine under pressure. He's got these Russians who are threatening to kill him, and he's just like, I'm fine. Doesn't bother me. And I mean, that's pretty much the end of my notes, really. I mean, because it kind of wraps up after that. They beat up the bad guys, and Billy Ray then kind of turns up like a cowboy, just being like, we fixed all the day. I saved the day. We fixed all the issues. It's all good. and because Jackie Chan, he kind of called him out, basically, saying that he confronted him, saying that he was the mole. And he was like, mole, what are you talking about? No, like, I'm not... He just kind of hangs up on him earlier. So then when he talks to him, he's like, oh, I'm sorry for thinking you were the mole and stuff. And which is, I mean, we all did, but he was saying that. And then Billy Ray was like, oh, we'll just chalk it up to the language barrier. And I was like, I mean, there's not really much of a language barrier there. I mean, there are a couple of times where he doesn't, English. Like there's a couple of times where he doesn't understand like a word or two, but I was like, okay.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I know obviously there's just meant to be like a ha 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 ha.
A 2010 joke, but yeah.
I was like, it's a bit weird. And then they get You know, the two of them get not him and Billy Ray, but
yeah, him and Billy Ray get married.
Him and the woman get married, and then
which is weird because she's like at the end of the whole thing, she's like, "Cool, thanks for saving us. We're still not getting back together though because you're a spy and you lied and you put the kids in danger." But then the kids are like, "Oh, we like you, Bob. Now we used to not like you, but now we do." And then the woman's just like, "Oh, they like him. I guess I forgive them."
All right, I'll give him another chance.
Yeah, I've completely flipped again. We're only being together for 3 months. I was going to leave him.
He'll make a nice third husband.
Yeah. I'm just going to divorce him anyway.
Yeah. Might as well get it over with.
Yeah.
But in the marriage ceremony, then he leans forward and he's like, "Oh, I have one more thing to tell you." Like, literally, when he's supposed to say, "I do," she's already said, "I do." And he leans forward and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I have one more thing to tell you. My name isn't Bob." And then she laughs like, "Ha ha ha ha." And then he says, "I do." And then it's like, "Now you may now kiss the bride." And I was like, so this isn't a legal marriage then? Because that's not his name? Was he just marrying for like the visa so that he could stay here now that he's retired?
Yeah. He's like, "Can we please get married? I know you hate me, but I need this visa. Yeah. I was on a work visa. I
really like the suburbs here.
Yeah, I want to stay. I'm still going to live next door. Not move again."
But so then that's how it ends. But I mean, in terms of final verdict, bad film, whatever, you know, for me, just bad film, good, because it's just a nostalgia film for me. I just love all of the kind of slapstick action and Jackie Chan's smiling face, you know.
Yeah, for me, bad film, solid.
Okay.
Like it's just you know, a very generic kids film. Yeah, I think what makes it better is Jackie Chan
and the choreography and stuff. Yeah,
yeah. I'm curious to see.
Stylized.
I'm curious to see. So, spoilers for next week. We're doing The Pacifier, which is the same film, but instead of Jackie Chan, it's Vin Diesel.
Yeah, so, this is like a part 1, part 2.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see like which one is better. I assume it's going to be this one because
I don't know. I remember a couple bits and pieces about The Pacifier, which, from what I remember, were quite enjoyable and quite funny. So I
haven't seen it
because The Pacifier was. Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh, because it came out in like 2005, I think. So it was before this. And I do remember that when I was looking for reviews, I do remember there being one where somebody was like, "They just copied The Pacifier." I was like, well, kind of the same idea, sure, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. But cool. Do you want to read some reviews for the film?
Yeah, I got a couple of like small ones.
Yeah,
because I think with this film again, because it's quite standard. Like there weren't many like crazy reviews. They were all just pretty like regular ones as per usual. I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes, and Aiden is looking at them on IMDb. So I've got one here from Mike M, who gave it 0.5 stars out of 5 and said, "Never saw it, but rest assured, I would have walked out 5 minutes into the movie." So he's very sure of himself, very sure of what he's never seen, which is always a great attitude to have.
Yeah.
And then we've got Dan B, who gave it 3.5 stars, which always feels like, you know, there's more thoughts being put into it.
Yeah.
But it's like, not as fun as most Jackie Chan movies. This is still pretty entertaining, and on Amazon Prime, the price is right. What does that mean? I don't understand. Sounds like he's part of the game show or something.
Yeah, like either he feels the price is right for the film, or he was mentioning that and on Amazon Prime, you can watch The Price is Right. They've got a whole series.
Yeah. By the way,
a separate thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just had a couple sting ones for this week.
Okay, cool. So I got a bit of a longer one. It's from Le Platypus.
Oh.
This was from 2010 as well, which is good.
Okay, current, yeah.
It's 4 out of 10. The title is Kung Fu Nanny. This says, with the kid, we originally wanted to see Shrek. They spelt it SCHRECK 4 in 3D, but it was sold out. Thus, we changed for this one because
Shrek.
the kid... Shrek.
We wanted to see Shrek.
Shrek. Thus, we changed for this one because the kid likes very much Jackie Chan, and as it involves kids, I knew that mine would feel related.
That's my brother.
Yeah.
That's my sister. I feel related to these people.
As the movie started, I thought that Chan was already an icon in my teens, so this guy is really tireless, and he worths an official recognition for his dedication towards world cinema. Okay?
I mean, I agree.
I agree.
The way you put it was interesting.
I'm sure he's won a lot of awards already.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got lots of things, yeah.
However, I felt a bit disappointed because the story didn't take place in Asia, but in a deep American suburb. So there wasn't much of exoticism. What?
Wasn't that exotic?
Yeah, what? Do you not get the whole premise?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it happens that the story was a funny coincidence with my recent experience.
as being an international spy.
Jackie and I were given the responsibility to take care after kids while the lone mother was away. It was thus cool to see our different or similar reactions. So this guy is an international spy, and this guy lived out this movie.
Yeah, it's a true story based on this guy.
Yeah. Beyond this, the movie is a bit slow and lacks rhythm. The kids aren't engaging, so the action was welcomed. Even as a nanny, Chan had to fight, and I'm dubious if it was really him in certain sequences. I would need a frame-to-frame analysis anal to judge.
Frame-to-frame anal to know. Yeah.
At the end, it was cool to see the bloopers, to notice that the mother was Valletta. I think I said her name wrong earlier. Who seems Who seems to have aged for 20 years since Hitch.
Damn.
And the kid liked the movie. Thus, mission accomplished.
Oh yeah, I was like, what kid? Oh yeah, they mentioned in the beginning that they had a child that they just call the kid.
The kid, yeah.
So, yeah, I do love incoherent reviews.
Yeah, just incoherent, and I guess he lived out the plot of this film, so kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've talked about some dumb shit, but do you want to talk about some real dumb shit?
Hit us with a story about some real dumb shit, Aiden. I'm ready.
So, I went on holiday with my girlfriend to Croatia.
Very nice.
It was really nice, really lovely. And we took a day trip to Dubrovnik, which is near the south of the country. Don't know if you've seen Croatia on a map, but it sort of does like a tall bit and then like a long, thin bit.
Yeah. Honestly, I couldn't point to many things on a map, so don't worry.
So, like...
Never been my strong point.
So we went... It was a long coach journey, and like we stopped off halfway through. Like, Croatia's weird. There's a tiny little bit where Bosnia intersects with it. So like you drive through a tiny amount of Bosnia to go through to get to Dubrovnik in Croatia.
Yeah.
So it's like a big long journey. We went to Dubrovnik. It was awesome. Really nice. Had a really nice day. And then suddenly...
Oh no.
I was like, my stomach feels very, very weird.
Oh no.
So I had to like run to the nearest restaurant and be like, can I use the toilet? And they were like, what? They were like, I don't, what? So I was like, I'm gonna use the toilet, bye. So I like ran in there and, fucking did my thing. And then the tour guide was like, okay, cool, time to go, everyone on the bus. And I was like, well, look, before we've left, I should be fine. And we set off into like, I don't know, like this 2-hour journey to the halfway point.
Yeah.
It was like 10 minutes in, and I was like, Oh no.
Oh no.
Like I was like all chill. Like my girlfriend had forgotten her headphones, so we were like, I had one ear in and she had the other. And then eventually I was like, give me the other headphone. Like, I was just fucking... It was honestly the worst time. I've never felt anything like it. I've got a few more stories about this sort of thing, which we'll get into another time, but this was honestly the worst fucking time. I had to like put the headphones in full volume. She would be like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like staring out the window like, yeah, I'm fine. She was like, "You're shaking." And I was just like fucking like, I was like visibly shaking. Yeah, like and we got to like this really run down fucking, I guess it was like a stop-off service station with a bunch of coaches. There was like a coach of German tourists, like all using the toilet at the same time. And I ran past people. They were like, "Oh, wait, there's a queue." And I was like, "Get out of my way." I like pushed past people.
It's a medical emergency.
I went into the toilet and was there for like ages. And people like, obviously they hadn't seen me go in, I guess, because the queue was quite long.
Yeah.
So there was like these German people speaking German, like trying to open the door. It was like, like, and then something in German. I can't speak German, sorry.
At the minute, I thought it was like somebody dialing something. What was that? They're calling the police.
Someone's in the toilet. They won't leave. Yeah. And I was in there for ages. I swear to God, I just made it. And I mean like, just.
Awful.
And then,
my God.
And then we got back on the coach, and I was still a bit like, don't talk to me. I need to concentrate about it. I was so glad that we had a stop off, because otherwise it would have been Armageddon.
Could you not have just said to the coach driver, like, "Stop here, I need to go and shit in that bush"?
No. Because I would just be like too embarrassed. I'm just like, I'm going to shit myself now.
You just look at it, he's like, "What's wrong?" Like, you put a hand on his shoulder and he looks at you and he's like, "What's wrong?" Like, I'm trying to drive. And you just look at him and you just hear like a and it's like he knows the look and he's like, "Oh shit."
Just like a deadpan straight in the eye, shitting myself.
And you can like the sweat. And you're just looking at him like, with your eyes, you're like, "Please stop."
Now I'm like, go faster. Stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
it's like speed, but it's just that you need a shit, and if the coach stops, you're gonna shit yourself.
The police are like,
if it goes underneath a certain miles an hour,
I shit myself. Oh god. But yeah, that's my real dumb shit. Literally.
That's literally
dumb shit.
Amazing. But yeah, I mean, if anybody listening has any funny stories, they don't have to be poo or piss related as they have been over the past couple of weeks.
No, yes, they do. They have to
Maybe
be.
They do. Yeah. But if anybody has any funny stories, anything anonymously embarrassing or anything that's just some real dumb shit, then feel free to send it in. I mean, send it by Twitter or Instagram or just by our email, which is it should just be, I think, badfilmgood@gmail.com.
Badfilmgood, all one word, @gmail.com. That's also at badfilmgood is our Twitter and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you can keep up to date with anything. Or if you want to send us any dumb stuff, then feel free. You can also tell a friend about us, give us a 5-star review. We have new episodes every Monday. So yeah, if you want to share, that would be awesome. But as always, we're going to leave you with an inspirational quote just to pick up your week. This is from Inspirobot, where it randomly generates a random quote with a random picture. you want me to go first, or do you want to go?
Yeah,
first?
if you start us off this time, cool. I've got a good one for the end.
So mine is a guy waving an American flag. American flag. This is a very patriotic one.
Yeah.
He's like waving it in the air. He looks all joyous, and this text says, "Straighten your back."
Is that it?
Yeah. Do it. Straighten your back.
Straighten your back for America.
Do not slouch for America.
America, straighten your back. Well, I've got a very strange and interesting one because it looks like a very kind of it's like a painting that could be interpreted in all sorts of ways. I mean, it's like an explosion of color and things everywhere, and they've just gone like crazy on this canvas. It's just full of different colors and shapes and lines and all sorts of things. It look kind of like clouds of different colors and stuff like that. And on the front, all it says is, "Always let being get in the way of space travel."
Sounds like my review.
Yeah. It's just like it's again, it's like a perfect fever dream, you know. But yeah, I think that's about it for this week. Like we said, next week we will be looking at The Pacifier to see. Yeah. You can
watch that on Disney Plus if you want to keep up.
Oh, it's on Disney Plus? I didn't know that. Brilliant. That's great. Then the week after we'll get Jackie Chan and Vin Diesel to fight.
Yeah,
we'll see which one is truly better.
Yeah.
So promise we'll organize that. Promise. But
all right.
Until then, we will see you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Stay pissy.
Stop. Stop.
Bye.
And we're back.
and we're back.
And we're back.
Bye.
Bye.